You wanted?
Basically, he just wanted to let me know that he's aware, as are all the other officers, that I'm on probation and banned from the property, stay away order from the property.
Not on a sidewalk.
City Hall. It has come up before as to, it hasn't been clearly defined what my limitations are. Typically, they sometimes say, you're not allowed within 100 yards of that property.
Not if it's a stay. Is it stay away?
You're not allowed,
Do you have a ticket of what it is?
Well, it's in the sentencing. The verbiage in the sentencing is on, court documents.
So this is a stay away from certain areas.
Yeah, but it was.
It's usually not on a sidewalk.
My memory serves me correctly. It was in court. It was a stay away for 1 year from City Hall. They never even mentioned a yardage or a footage limitation. So,
wow, we have to get that cleared up.
If I step on a brick, then that's a violation.
Right.
But there seems to be a lot of question as to what it is. Is it
well, then what about
the street?
Yes.
So
I'd go on the other side of the street.
He said he does. He said he's not going to jam me up right now, but he is aware that I'm on probation.
Yeah, they're using all the people that are on probation right now. They're using it against all of them.
Well, but they're not banned from the City Hall.
Do you want me to keep it for? I'm going to sleep out here tonight.
Okay.
So you want me to put it in my car?
Okay.
So you don't have to carry it around all day?
Yes, please.
Okay.
I've been carrying around.
Can you put it in my car?
Yeah.
It's open. It's right over there. Just throw it in there.
The other people who are on probation they're not necessarily banned from the City Hall. See, I am.
They're banned from being with each other. They're trying to get it on everyone.
That's a juicy one. So, okay. Yes, indeed. Another fine morning.
Thanks, Mark. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you.
So they're trying to get all the people that are on probation to threaten them to not come here. I would say go on the other side because by then you could. That's what I would do if I were you, because you're not at City Hall.
Yeah.
I would go check is this down the hallway down that way.
Morning.
Morning.
It's not an easy answer.
I just know one thing right now. On April 8th, when we closed that winter shelter, I started crying. Get in. I will come out and clean it up, but they just leave it alone until we can get another shelter.
Purring like a lion.
Do you know? Can you ask them on that piece of paper that they're giving out to people if there's any?
I can provide you guys a better piece of paper, but realistically, most of the people here, number one, they have HPHP here. This is where they see their doctors. There is the Pajaro Valley shelter in Watsonville, but you have to get there. You have to check in.
But there are no shelters that are on that list that are on their list.
They're handing out.
There's not enough places to house everyone that needs housing.
There's no housing at all.
They're just looking for a place to sleep that they won't be woken up. So we're working on an emergency until there's an emergency shelter. Like the winter shelter, it's a HUD-based grant for all of these. They do it through Housing and Urban Development Grant. So every emergency shelter is done that way across the board. Doesn't matter where you live in the country. It's 126 to 129 days a year.
We'll reuse that. Well, we're sleeping out here tonight. Yours was a 24-hour ban, but you're telling the courts told you something different. Wow. Do you have the date? Do you have the date?
I've got a 1 year stay away
From
City Hall.
I think, really, it's not the sidewalks, but yeah.
No place to send people.
I'll have it on video. So if I'll have it on video if they try to do anything, because you're not on City Hall, you're on a public sidewalk, and I'll have it on video, and I'll go to court with you.
No place to send anyone. Give you a flyer that tells you go to places that don't exist.
Is the officer there that gave you the ticket here?
No, none of them. He was driving squad car 129 this morning,
Oh, this
but he was
morning.
in 159 yesterday.
That's how he's for
Hey Mac, I gotta go. I got an appointment.
As you guys have to.
And don't do anything I wouldn't do.
I was married to a cop for 19 years, so I totally get it. You're told to do it.
Would you mind talking? Can I ask you a question? Would you mind talking to Rick Martinez?
I'd be more than happy to.
Thank you so much. Can you ask him what ordinance that about sitting about personal property? Because him and I had about an hour talk, a 45-minute hour talk last night after City Council met, and anyway. He said there is no ordinance, but please don't believe me. Just can you ask him? These are regulations that are put by.
I'm not sure I understand you.
Sure.
You just said ordinance about personal property.
Personal property. It says on that sign that no personal property can be put on. This officer over here tried to enforce it. That no personal property can be put on a wall, on the sidewalk. There is no ordinance about that.
Okay.
And I would appreciate if you could talk to him. It's on the sign, but there is no ordinance that you can cite
Check
someone
and
on.
see. I think, personally, the way I see that is that pertains to like leaving it there, and then.
I know, you would think so, but it doesn't say
Yeah,
unattended.
it doesn't say unattended. So
Yes.
Yeah. I will
Yeah.
check and I'll try and get you.
And actually, he told, and I would love it if you can explain to this officer, Gonzel, if you could, once you get that information from Rick, if you could please explain that to him, because he was telling this gentleman over here he couldn't have his duffel bag on the wall right next to him. I appreciate
More than
it.
happy.
Thank you.
And just so we are perfectly clear,
Sure.
no one has been issued a citation for anything.
Right.
No one's been arrested for anything.
Correct.
We're primarily out here giving out resources and trying to educate people about the municipal code.
Okay, so
Hence
I
why
appreciate everything you're saying. I respect what you're saying. The only difference is when you tell people you're giving them a warning and there's nothing that is illegal about it, then I think that's
So I think
not, that's kind
our
of,
whole conversation is based on the word unattended or attended. Is that fair to say?
that was exactly the discussion that I had with Rick. Rick was kind of surprised when I showed him the sign, and he said they must mean unattended, similarly to what you thought.
Absolutely.
And when he looked at it, he goes, that's strange. I said, so if a person who is having lunch, a picnic, and they put their briefcase over there, that's the same as a person putting their backpack or their duffel bag on there. They should be similarly cited for,
To your point.
yeah.
Absolutely.
And he agreed with me, so I would
So I think the
appreciate.
question would be, is it you left something and now it's unattended and therefore it's abandoned property, or is it something that
Right.
is right next to you and belongs to you?
Right. No, and what the sign says
And
is
it's
you
Abby.
can't.
It's
Yes,
Abby,
Abby. And what this sign also says that you can't sit on this wall. Well, there is no ordinance for that either, and you can't.
I'd be more than happy to talk
Thank
to
you.
Deputy Chief Martinez.
What's your? Can I ask you your first name if you?
Sergeant Jones?
Oh, Sergeant Jones. You okay? You're not gonna tell me your first name. That's okay. Okay, Sergeant Jones. I can remember that. Yeah, if you could ask
be
Rick,
more than
because we
happy
had a
to.
long conversation about that, and it's parks. He says it's Parks and Rec sign, and there's absolutely no ordinance. They tried to cite me on an ordinance, and
Okay.
I looked it up, and I brought it to the ACLU, and they kind of laughed at the.
Yeah, no,
The
I
ordinance.
think everybody needs to be on the same page, whether it's officers, myself, and you, just so it's perfectly clear and legal.
Fair. And
that's-
to tell someone, even a warning, it seems like that isn't fair if there is no law against it.
I think we're talking about the ambiguity of
Fair.
not being specific, right?
Yeah, and I'd appreciate if you could tell him.
I will
Thank you.
talk to Deputy Chief
Thank you.
Martinez about it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Abby.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Really want to charge it.